the super armor chain and stuff. And then like you once you burst me low enough, and then you grab chain. That's why I feel like it work against me. I guess like low
Right.
enough as like 70%, and then you can finish it off. But um, yeah, man, like I couldn't freeze you for some reason. Like that was bothering me a lot.
I want to fight you.
I was spamming a lot of iframes to be honest with you, dude. I'm like, I'm not getting caught. I'm not getting caught. I can't get caught in the long chain. It'll be a bad time. Especially after I put on my DPS offhands, dude. I was like, it really hurts now. I
Oh my
really
god.
can't let them CC me.
Yeah, the fucking what's it call it? I think I got you. I almost killed you at one point, and then I fucked up
Yeah,
so
I had
bad.
like 5 health, dude.
Yeah, I literally misjudged my damage, and I'm just like, wow. And you just walked away and healed. I was so sad, dude. Anyway, all right. So actually, for we actually already went live. Just FYI. And so let's start. Let's do intro. And my name's Bloody Karma. I'm a wizard.
I'm Illis Panda. Zerker.
TurboCleave, also Zerker.
Yeah, Panda. You literally. What's happening?
It's your boy Illis Panda back at it again with my best intro. Level 60 Zerker, 5'8", likes cuddles and long walks at the beach.
Well, I should get you to start the intro next time. By the way, we're on
Oh
episode
god.
10. It's been 10 weeks,
Woohoo!
guys. 10 weeks. It's awesome. Anyway. All right. So, where's my outline? So I guess just an intro, a little bit intro for the new people that's coming into the stream. I just did watch out. There should be some people coming in. That this stream is more specifically for small and medium scale fights, so T1, T2, and potentially some T3 as well. And so hopefully you can give you guys some tips. And this episode particularly is actually we're going to talk about Zerker specific mechanic with TurboCleave, which is a very reputable Zerker in our community. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Turbo.
As far as myself actually goes, I live in California, about 25 years old. I work in the tech industry. In the game, I'm TurboCleave, Berserker. I'm in Snake. I like to play around a lot. I mostly enjoy just PvP. Spend about 90% of my time in the battle arena itself. Every now and then I force myself to grind, just to get enough money to stay competitive.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of build do you favor? Or do you have various
Personally,
depends on the situation?
I feel like Berserker's a class that can really change a lot, just by swapping your offhand out.
Mm-hmm.
So I carry a lot of offhand. I carry 3 different offhands, right? I carry the Nuver, the Kudum, and the Sayer. And the Sayer and the Nuver are kind of in the same boat in that they both help me burst.
Mm-hmm.
The Sayer makes me tanky against non-Sayer type offhand users. And the Kudum's kind of like the AK-47, right? It's good against everybody. It's not great in any field, but it makes me kind of tanky and it leaves me with some damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, supposedly to counter Nuber users for the most part if they
And
have a lot of accuracy.
with Kudum?
Kudum will help you against high accuracy targets as Berserker. It's because if you go versus a Sayer with the Sayer on,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like you're not wearing any DP at all. You just get fucking cut up immediately. It's terrible. Slap on a
Uh,
Kudum, you're a little bit tankier. You feel like a little more, just last a little longer. The
mm-hmm.
DR goes a long way.
Yeah. Um. So 1v1. It depend. Obviously, depends on who you're fighting. But let's say, because you're in CGO. In sieges, what do you usually run?
All right, so in Siege, I generally start out with the Kudum on. Most people in Siege are going to use accuracy offense, right? They're looking to get a lot of damage out.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep the Kudum on to keep myself tanky. The moment a offensive push is made with a protected area, I hit my hotkey and I put my Nuber on. And for those 10 seconds, I just go, all damage abilities out immediately out the gate. As soon as the PA is over, I re-equip my Kudum. If I feel like I'm still getting cut in pretty good with the Kudum on, I'll swap over to the Sayer and play a more balanced style of bigger bursts and, slightly lighter defense.
Huh.
It's a style I like to favor. It's the Sayer in Node Wars because it lets me do a good amount of damage to the enemy, as well as not get totally destroyed.
Panda, what's your well, what do you do like in Norse? Do you just run one offhand?
So I run two offhands, right? I use the Kudum and the Sayer. So Same thing like what he said. If I'm going up against someone who has an accuracy offhand, same. Let's say it's Zerker versus Zerker, and he has Sayer. It feels like I'm not wearing an offhand at all. Like it's just not good, right? That's why I start off with Kudum a lot, just to test it out, see what the majority of people are wearing, seeing how I'm using it effectively or not. Again, it depends also in our comp. If we need a tankier or frontline people engages, then yeah, I'll put on, let's say, either a Sayer or yeah, Sayer, because it has more DP and it's DR. If we don't, like let's say we need more disrupts or something like that, or like yeah, disrupts, then yeah, I'll put on my Kudum.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So actually, let's back up a little and let's talk about like instead of talking about playstyle and gears so fast, jump directly into that. Let's talk about what do you think is expected from a Zerker? Like, what's their role in No War? Turbo, what do you think?
I think Berserker's expected to be a frontliner, like at its, from the get-go. You're supposed to see Berserkers run in first,
Mm-hmm.
right? As the game's evolved, it's become the case that we can't do that as much, or at least not for a long time.
Yeah.
So I feel the Berserkers evolved into a very aggressive poke class, and that we still go in first, very first, but we don't stay in for very long. We do a lot of range poke, melee poke, back out to range, and range poke. We kind of sort of lay down a suppressing fire kind of deal going with our continuous barrage of range and melee attacks, just cycling them back and forth every 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you will go in as a front line first and then out, or do you not go in as front line at all anymore?
The moment the call to push is made, of
Hmm.
course I go in immediately, right?
Yeah.
The frontliner, it's what I'm supposed to do. I lava pierce in, I use my ground lifting, I use my general disarray. If I've already taken about 50% of my health and damage by the time I've finished casting like all of 1 second of abilities, it's
Hmm.
time to leave. I jet back out. If I'm
Okay.
still hovering at about 75 to 100% health, I'll go ahead and start casting Ancient Wave into a split shot. This gives me a forward guard and a super armor during my damaging phase. And it lets me do just a bit more damage and cast a wider net of CC on the enemy. And then I definitely jet back out. Unless we're winning so hard that it's in my best interest to just stay inside, in which case I'll do a devastation. But that's only if, like we literally kill 20, 30 people on the first push. And there's
Okay.
not a lot of damage for me to worry about.
Is that the super armor chain that you were talking about, Panda, before?
No, for super armor, I like to do the whole poking but
Hmm.
chunking kind of thing. So lava into general disarray into rocket jump out, right, and then rinse repeat.
Yeah, that's
Cannon,
that's
the
that.
Titan step, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're using Titan Step in the shot, yeah, you can super armor scumbag
Yeah.
that by just
Yep.
holding on the animation.
And then I rinse repeat until I know for sure that either my grab chain can execute or I can just keep on doing it or and enough to kill you. That kind of thing.
Okay. So what about let's say when you say talking about poking? So is it like it's just kind of like a rinse and repeat thing throughout the nowhere?
For me?
Yeah, in general.
For me, yeah. Usually I don't necessarily go for kills. I go for how much damage can I put out and live after, you know, rather than all right, I'm gonna go suicide, lava ulti. Like that's boring, right? And it's efficient, but that's not my playstyle. And that's one of the things that we're gonna be talking about later is gonna be playstyle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. Turbo, you want anything to add before we move on to playstyle? I guess.
I think we're looking good, man. Thank you.
All right. All right. So playstyle. So what we chat about is more or less like kind of like what you guys play, like your particular playstyle. But what are the existing playstyle out there? I guess, and what are the I guess like builds that complementing. Oh, you know what? Let's not talk about builds yet. Let's just talk about playstyle in general. Either one of you
Okay,
guys.
that's fair. So as far as play styles go, I want to say that personally, I've broken myself down into two different styles, right? Either we have the pure passive style, where I take on the role of laying down traps putting down a lot of suppressive fire onto the enemy, getting a lot of knockdowns, focusing on pure range damage. This is for situations where there's a lot of hilly terrain or some type of vantage point that you can exploit excessively. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I find a small tower, if I can get on top of that tower, I'm gonna sit on that tower and I'm literally just gonna rain shots down into a base the whole time I can until somebody climbs up and tries to kick me out. If it's the case that this is more of an open fight, like on an open area,
Mm-hmm.
there's no terrain to be exploited, then I'll take on the more traditional role of having myself lava pierce in, apply ground lift general disarray, and then like I said before, applying additional damage if possible. And this is more of an active play style, and that you have to constantly run in, do damage, CC, jetpack out, apply suppressing fire until your cooldowns are available again, and then use them once again. In this situation, I'm not looking to get kills specifically, but if I'm shooting people and I see people at below 50% health, that's a cluster of people I'm gonna target immediately and try to get those people killed.
You could get 50% people's HP down to 50% with range.
You can, right? But in the node war situation, there's a lot of damage going around.
Oh,
The
okay. I
shot
got.
mostly does. The shot does. If you're going against an equally geared player, maybe 5 to 10% of their damage and health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could get off, 5, 6 shots really fast and get them down close to half there. But what I'm talking about is, in a group fight, when you see a lot of people, you see
Yeah.
they're taking a lot of damage, you got to move in and, kill them off, make sure they stay dead.
Okay.
And it is a knockdown too,
Yeah,
and that helps a lot.
strong knockdown, huge, long, long range.
It's the so for those of you guys that don't know the knockdown and bound differences, there are some range range CC that it's bound, some range are KD. KD is slightly longer in bound. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember KD being 4 seconds, and while
That's
bound
right.
is about a second faster, I believe, or maybe yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, so Panda,
What's up, my man?
anything you want to add to Playtime?
For playstyle, it's pretty much like what he said already. So it's either you play in the back, because in my opinion, Zerkers are not tanks. So we can soak a little bit of damage, but we are not tanks. Like what are tanks? Shield classes, warrior, valks, right? But we can engage, and that's pretty much it. We can disrupt. We can be annoying. We're flies,
Mm-hmm.
but we cannot be the ones who execute the kills. We cannot be the ones who tank. And that's just how it is. Even if your build is like what, 417 DP, you're still gonna take damage. You have enough DP to sustain yourself, to ult, heal, and all that. But again, you're not gonna be going for kills. You're just gonna be a meat shield.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wait. So that you were saying that oh shoot, I fucked up. Like what about peels? I do see like some Zerkers that are literally just sitting in the back and just being annoying, like because like I'm a wizard, and whenever I dive backline, I see like there's just like one or two Zerkers just sit there and just waiting for me to dive. Like it happens in Vertex, it fucking happened against Fortune as well. I'm just like I fuck you guys. Like is
So
that
berserkers,
actually? Yeah, go ahead.
that is a thing. Absolutely, that's something that can be called for.
Mm-hmm.
Berserkers are a pretty good class for peels, just pure peel class. If you want to play as a pure peel berserker, it's totally open to you. I feel like berserkers and valkyries are the best peelers in the game for sure,
Oh yeah.
but it's something that every berserker should be doing while they're in the back, because there's no reason that you couldn't do both. There's
Okay.
no reason you couldn't be in the back peeling, but also every 10 seconds using your mobility to get in and out of the fight and apply damage to the enemy on their turf.
Okay.
Do you think playing passive and peeling can work together?
Of course.
That yeah. Okay. So there's a front line, and there's the people that does specific does peels, but what your point being is it should be both.
Ideally, yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting in the back line and you're doing other things, right? Node War's more than just, damage,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're laying traps, if you're prepping for the next push, you're doing whatever it is you're doing, buffing up with your group, it's not to say that you couldn't just sit in the back, provide reses, provide covering fire, and provide peels. It is a lot of work to be doing already,
Yeah.
but you should definitely be always looking for that window where you could, exploit the enemy when they're looking a little disheveled.
I
You make
got
sure
you.
to break them apart.
Yeah. Okay. And fuck, where's my outline? Sorry. So okay. So let's move on to builds. Like, is there particular like build like I know you swap offhand a lot, Turbo, and there's actually Zerkers that I know of go full DP, and then they are literally just sitting in people's bases. Like this is not siege, so like it's more inclined like a build that with like 400 DP is more they're literally running like disruptions. Um, and I know you can't really do that in siege. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then like what complement, let's say each offhand that you put on, like I know you cover a little like at the beginning and saying like this is what you do, this is the stuff the skill that you do, and then you switch to this offhand, right?
Right.
Is there more specific as like, okay, while I'm in this offhand, I guess like here are the positioning and here are the skills that I usually look for. And when this happened, this is the reason why I switched to this offhand is more complementary to whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, I guess?
Are you asking if there's a specific skill set you start using when you're using a certain offhand?
Yes, or some builds in general. Yeah.
Builds in general. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start from the top,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you're a DP giant,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's say that you've gone ahead and you've broken the 400 DP barrier, but you've only got about 130 to 160 AP or so.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the case, you're not going to really be killing anybody outright at any point in time. What you do have is an extreme luxury that most berserkers don't have, and that is time. You have a lot of time to do whatever it is you want to do to the enemy, so long as you keep yourself in a super armor or some type of iframe, or in some situations, so long as you're well positioned, forward guard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since you're not really worried about kills, what you need to focus is on is affecting as many targets as possible with each one of your actions. Your biggest player is going to be devastation. A lot of berserkers can't just buckle down in front of a group of people and just cast out a devastation. They'll get killed during the cast. But with that level of DP health buff going, you should be able to last out more than just about any average berserker. It's not to say you'll deal in a massive amount of damage, but you're going to be casting a lot of CC. You want to focus your whole play around that CC. Devastation is going to be the best. If you're taking a lot of damage anyhow, those forward guards will come in handy to keep you alive just a little longer. But your positioning has to be spectacular. You can't let anybody be behind you, ever. And then
Okay.
of course your iframe is, you got the two iframes. You got the shake off and you got the general disarray iframe. Both of these are very short iframes that you have to be really reactive with, but you can use them to avoid heavy CCs, which you really should.
Okay. Which one's the shake up? Like, which one's the 3 second hop that I have to fucking deal with every single time?
All right, so shake off is the the berserker literally shakes himself to the side, and that's it's a very short iframe,
Yeah.
but it's on a 4 second cooldown there.
Uh huh.
But it is, again, if you time it really well, you can keep yourself from getting knocked down and getting sucked into something. It keeps
Okay.
you just off the ground just for a little bit. You just gotta time it well.
Yeah. Panda, you got questions there? Or.
Um, so let's say Sork ball, right? Let's say I'm in a big node war situation. Enemy throws down a Sork ball. What would you use to get out of that?
But number one is going to be jump sequence, right? You're going to jetpack and then jetpack again.
Mm-hmm.
The first jetpack will get rid of the pull effect, and the second jetpack will get you out of it itself. When you jump sequence, when you're in the air, you go into iframe. That's what gets rid of that suction effect. And then after that, you just got to jetpack once more, and you're out.
Hmm.
If that didn't work, you're probably not going to get out, but you can at least try to survive. So you're going to go into any of your three forward guards. So that'll be Titan Blow, Ancient Wave, or you do Wrath of Beast. And for all of these, again, you got to be super fucking well positioned to make it out alive. Wrath of Beast is maybe the longest block you have, and you can click around yourself if you have click to move enabled to turn the block. So you're gonna have to be like on your toes. You gotta block whatever's trying to knock you down. But of course, the main source you want to block against is the Sork Ball. So you aim at the Sork Ball, you block towards the Sork Ball. You gotta watch out for those back attacks. Someone's gonna back attack you. You activate your split shot immediately out of your Titan Blow or your Ancient Wave. This will put you into a super armor state, and you'll be able to avoid just that knockdown. And hopefully, this has bought you enough time to get some kind of other mobility out. Maybe a nice little what do you call it, Titan step, or you can
Right.
maybe have Lava Piercer available to you and use that instead.
Hmm.
You're
Or
just trying to buy
evade and all
time.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, just buying that time to get out.
Wait, isn't Lava Piercer the full duration is a iframe? Well,
It's a
besides the
super
takeover.
armor.
Super armor?
Super.
Lava
Yeah.
Piercer?
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it was an iPhone, that shit would be OP.
I'll
so
take
so
that
you
though.
can't just
Shit.
Lava Piercer
100%.
out of a sword ball though? Oh, it has
No, it's not
collision,
fast
right?
enough. Yeah, that's
Oh,
collision. It's not
yeah.
fast
So
enough.
you're gonna deal with fucking running into your own teammate and bullshit. Okay, got you, got you.
Yeah.
All right. So DP Zerkers, and that's what's next spell on the list. We have a list down.
So it's the polar opposite, right? AP
Hmm.
Zerkers.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about AP Zerkers.
So if you're an AP Zerker, you have no time at all to do anything, right? You're running around with like 240 AP and like 280 DP. It's
Yeah.
terrible. Everything fucking hurts. People look at you funny, your health starts to go down. But you can delete people, like literally delete. Berserker AP scaling is impressive. It's like nobody ever played a Berserker long enough to get it to pass like 230, 240 AP. And now that these Berserkers are coming to the forefront, it's disgusting. But you don't have any time, so all your abilities have to be fast. You should never be casting a Devastation as an AP Zerker unless another DP Zerker has already knocked everybody down and
Mhm.
has them CC'd, in which case you follow in with yours, right? But for the
Okay.
most part, you're going to want to be using things out of extremely well placed footholds, right? You want to find the enemy, see where they're doing their damage, and be where it's not. So, a common play when I have my protected area, my AP going, is I lava pierce or jetpack into the back of the enemy or behind a choke. I have the entirety of the enemy force in front of me, and they all have their backs to me. I go immediately into a slugfest. Slugfest comes out immediately, stun stiffen, and I go into a float, maybe a couple blastings if I have the bravado, right? But typically, I'll go into an ancient wave and split shot. All these abilities, well, except for the slugfest, right? The slugfest does not have a super armor until the last hit. But if you've gotten the last hit off, you're golden. You're gonna get a lot of kills right now as soon
Mm-hmm.
as you get your ancient wave split shot combo off.
Oh.
And those give you the forward guard, the super armor, and you use either your mobilities that you have available to you to get out again immediately. Because even though you didn't get hit, I'm sure you're at 50% health already.
Hmm. So
It has
like
to be all
essentially,
fast.
it's like diving a backline, but keeping it. What's my call it? Like, but you gotta keep like people behind you. Like you gotta keep your enemy on one side essentially.
Yeah, you can't if you get knocked down in your AP set, like you're very likely not going to see the air again. You're not going to come up alive.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be on your feet, and it's so very important that you never get knocked down in that situation because you won't make it.
Yeah.
And so, in that same vein, you could do a really good job as a passive berserker with a lot of AP because if you're not getting hit, you can just belt people with fat cannon shots, and your cannon shots hit pretty hard. If you're 61, you got 240 AP, you're gonna get a lot of kills. Like in Snake, a lot of the berserkers just kind of chilled on the wall, and they put on their AP sets, and they all pulled out a stormtrooper at least.
It hurts. Like it's even if you know the animation cancel for it, the damage goes down a little bit, but it's still damage, and it's fucking. I get
Yeah,
random kills, literally.
yeah. If
Even
you got
though
your
it's
awakening buff going, you're literally a one-man howitzer. Like you're just slamming these shaking shots into people, and it's a full charge with the flow activated, and you're chunking people for 25%, 30% of their health in one shot. It's disgusting. So as an AP Zerker, positioning is key.
Yeah.
Keeping your range is fine.
Huh. Okay. So Hybrid Zerker will be Kudum and Slayer, I guess. Would that be
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're a hybrid Zerker, right, you're chilling around in your 200 to 220 AP range. You got about 300-ish DP, right? You're in
Mm-hmm.
a good spot. It's my favorite way to play Berserker personally. You own the battlefield. You go where you please. You have just a little bit of leeway in your DP, right? You'll still get melted in a big group,
Yep.
but if a group of 3, 4 guys catches you on the side, you're very likely to make it out alive. You're gonna be able to get back up and get moving again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of being able to use every skill you have. You want to be peeling. You want to be poking. You want to be doing the range damage. You're going to excel in every category. You're going to have a good time.
Okay. So Kudum, I know, like personally, like at least for my class, I find Kudum is very like a good way to put it is a well-rounded um offhand, but in a bad way is also that it's not enough in any aspect. Do you find that that's a case for Zerker?
That's very fair. I definitely feel my damage is a little lackluster in my Kudum, right? It's mostly because of the way gears progressed on the NA server. People have started to really favor those accuracy offhands, accuracy in general, even if even if it's the case that you don't have like a meta accuracy offhand like the Sayer or the Vanguards
Mm-hmm.
or the Leather Vambrace, people are still using accuracy offhands because they're just very effective. So I'm finding that people who have those accuracy offhands that have evasion, my Kudum doesn't feel like it does as much damage against them. It's not the case that I run into them all the time, right? But it's often because it's unpopular classes that have those offhands.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the damage drop off, but it does make me tankier. As a Berserker class, I feel like it definitely makes me tankier when versus the other classes that have the Sayer type meta offense.
Okay. So in what situation you would pick Slayer over Kudum or vice versa?
Okay, so if I'm fighting a DK Striker Zerker, I'm likely to start out with the Kudum out the gate. Striker, though, maybe. Strikers are so tanky that their evasion carries them past anything a Kudum could do, in my opinion. So it is the case that I need to put on my Sayer if I want to do any kind of meaningful damage versus Striker. If I'm
Striker.
fighting
Okay.
most other classes, like DP Witch, DP Wizard, the
Mm-hmm.
Sayer comes on. That's how I'm going to do my damage. That's how I'm going to get the people. That's how I'm going to cut through all those stats.
Yeah.
If it's the case that I'm fighting just about any other class in the game, I'm likely to wear the Kudum because I have enough damage as it is to be able to kill them, and I wouldn't mind being just a little bit tankier.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Kudum. How much AP do you got in Kudum? If you don't mind me asking.
I hover around the 215, 220 range in Kudum, depending on just what amount of accuracy I've put
Mm-hmm.
on my offhand there, on my accessories.
So your Slayer will put you around like 200.
No, I think my save from that. Let me just put it on. So that brings me down to like 205,
I
210
gotcha.
range around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's already scary. I think like.
Huh.
I'm not
Huh.
quite as geared as people like think I am. People are like, oh, you're so fucking geared. I'm like, I'm really lazy, dude. I think you're really overestimating how much work I put in.
Wait. So okay. So that I'm not, that's not getting specific, but just a yes. Are you soft cap or above soft cap or below?
No, I'm not soft cap.
You're not soft. You're below soft cap.
Oh, I'm below soft cap for sure, dude.
Holy shit, dude. Panda.
Like like 20 AP below soft cap, dude. What?
I know. I need to step it up. I get it. I get it.
Wait,
Turbo Panda incoming.
yeah, Panda. What is your like? Are you about 20 AP or 20 gear score or below soft cap? That sounds like about your range actually. Is it
I am 206 with Kudum.
206? Oh, okay. So you're
Sweet,
about 10
sweet,
short.
sweet.
10 short
Think.
compared to turbo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about.
And then with Sayer, I am 10 AP short for sure.
About yeah. So if turbo can do it, like just put it this way, turbo. Panda for the longest time, what he did, I will dot him, and then I will let him grab me, and then I'll make sure my summon just poke him, and he actually cannot output the damage.
I
Uh,
got bullied.
Damn,
Okay. I got bullied.
and
damn.
once we run into each other in nowhere, so instead of actually straight up grabbing me and kill me, and when there's not enough teammates, he just decided to start throwing me off cliffs, and he actually success twice.
That's honestly pretty much the play. Like if you find like just an absolute DP monster, right, and you're in a node war and you're also wearing your higher DP set, you're not gonna be able to kill him. But as a berserker, your health pool is so big, you'll survive most falls. Other
Most.
classes, not so much.
Most. This fall,
Most.
this fall that we're talking about is from Omar Lava Cave. You know the top.
Oh
Yeah,
boy. Yeah, that's a long one. That's a long way down, dude.
yeah,
But you
man.
know what? I don't have enough AP to burst him down. You know. So I was like, you
There
know
you
what?
go.
Mid
That's it.
jump, I'm like, fuck it, let's do it.
If you do
Roll
that
the
every
clip.
time, come out with an even KD, dude.
No,
Exactly.
no. The first time it was, I think it was like he grabbed me and threw me off, but it's not just me. There was a ninja and there was a warrior came off with a ninja log jump behind me for some random fucking reason. Yeah, he's off the cliff. And then warrior slashing dead and then moved forward and he went off the cliff too. So there was four of us at bottom of the cliff just laughing. And the second one, I think you lava piercer me and then yeah.
Slugfest.
Oh, is it
Pushed you off.
slugfest? Yeah,
Yep, pushed you off. Last one. Last
I
take of it. Oh,
you
satisfying.
just watched me
This
trying to run forward on the cliff, struggling but moving backward. Most
started
people have.
moonwalking.
Yeah.
But yeah. Uh yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so let's talk. Was that all for build or Panda? Do you have anything in question? builds playstyle?
Yeah. What do you think about accuracy build?
Accuracy build's important. I mean, how do I put it? I feel like you definitely can overstack accuracy on Berserker, right? There is a point where it's the diminishing return catches up with you, and it's the case that more accuracy won't help your damage anymore. But I do feel like, if you see a Berserker running around, he's got the Zarka, he's got the Begs, he's got the Sayer, he's got two RCs in the tree. It's kind of overkill. He's got one RC. It's all right. Two RCs is maybe like the upper limit of what I would push because I feel like with all those accuracy items already in your kit, Sayer has like a 30 accuracy buff at Tet, right? Something like that.
So yeah.
So to
Yeah.
go ahead and stack on another 20 accuracy and accessories is just ridiculous. Like you just don't need that much. Like, the Zarka's got you for 40 something. The Sayer's got you for 30. The Bags have got you for 15. You're covered. You're good. Just got a fresh buff off of the new Zerker patch there. 5% increased passive accuracy. A lot of our flows have had their accuracy updated as well. So we got 13 accuracy on those whole flows now.
Huh.
You don't need to overstack accuracy anymore. Like you really don't. Sayer is so strong for accuracy. You don't need it anywhere else.
And he has evasion. The
So you
fucking
think-
Has
pocket
evasion.
off hand. So bad. I won one. But yeah, anyway.
So you think going flat AP accessories with one accuracy and then one Sayer would be good enough with a full boss and a Zarka and all that?
Oh, that's more than enough. That's plenty. Even the one RCE, I'm barely recommending only because so many people are running so much evasion now. That one RCE will put you over the edge there, just enough to where you're still overcapping their evasion.
Gotcha.
You literally can't build enough evasion to outcompensate Sayer and an RCE. Like it's just not in the game unless they went like full DP and I don't know. There's some hidden information about evasion I don't know about, but it's not there. Like you literally, and even if they are, like full DR maybe instead, they're not gonna hurt you at all. And you can't really build against the AR anyhow, unless you go full AP monkey.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a game of rock paper scissors, Depends
It
on what you
is.
want
It
to do.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's why you gotta carry so many offhand, different scissors.
Difference is.
But yeah. What do you have, Panda?
As for offense,
No, in
or
general, your gear, dude. Like what do you
I
run?
have duo tri witches. I have two. Let me rephrase. Two tri witches, one tri tree belt, Sayer, one duo crescent, and one tri marks.
So accuracy wise, is just bag.
Begs, Zarka, Sayer, and
Yeah.
tree.
Okay. How are your accuracy zerker like you claim to be, you dick?
I used to be right. I used to have two tri RCEs, tree belt, same gear, and then the Sayer. And I was
That's the
like,
set I run for maneuver, and sometimes my Kudum, dude. Like
like,
if I don't have my Sayer on, I go full accuracy accessories on my left side there.
and that's the only way you can make Duver, I guess, viable, right? If you have
Yeah,
enough
you need
accuracy.
the accuracy carry. You need it so bad. But it's pretty disgusting, dude. If you have like a full accuracy setup there with a fucking Uber on, dude, you hit really hard. It's really funny, dude, especially as Berserker, because things that didn't really kill people before, they just do crippling
They
damage
just
now. Like every
poof.
tick. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Hmm. Okay.
Huh, huh,
Wait. So
huh.
when did you switch gear?
Uh,
Did you blow it all
next
up?
topic.
You blew it all up, didn't you, you dick?
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
No, that's what you gotta do. It's for the sake of progression.
That's what's up, boy. That's what's
That's
up.
why you have backups, man.
It's not like we fought Vertex without a belt on, but it's all good. Next
Oh,
topic. Let's go.
okay, Turbo. This guy, I gotta tell you this story. We fought fucking Vertex, right? Like, we fought Vertex with NQPs. ITC.
ITC.
Yeah, so it's 2v1. Vertex is strong as fuck, and we're holding them off. And we held Vertex off. We eventually turned the war around, and then want to know, ITC stepped off because either way, fun war. It's great war. And then this motherfucker sent me a screenshot afterward and said, "Do you see anything missing?" The dude went in with an empty belt slot, empty.
Oh boy.
Like,
Could have picked up a berries, dude, for
I
like
know,
half.
right?
Okay, let's talk about how first he looked at my DP, right? He was like, "You only have 283 DP?" I'm like, "That's not the point. Look at my belt slot."
Like, why? What? did
You
you
know,
like
long story short, I got my tree belt. Okay, I got my tree belt tonight,
did you like
and I'm happy.
update? Did you try to upgrade it while we're doing no war? Is that what's happening?
Uh,
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
yes.
You fucking idiot.
That's
Anyway.
why. This is how. All right, for people watching who are in guilds who check for gear. All right, before you blow your shit up, you got to take a screenshot first. Your highest gear score. Take a screenshot, and then you blow it up. And then you save that screenshot, all right? But you don't do the whole screen. You only do their gear. So they don't see your EXP, they don't see your time or whatever. You're welcome.
Props to you, dude. I'm a bitch, dude. I just get spares of whatever I'm trying to enhance, and I enhance that. Like that's how I get all my tests. Like, oh, I got another muskin. I'll enhance these to tet and keep my tries on until I don't want to be embarrassed, dude. What if some guy comes at me? He's like, "Yo, Turbo, you a bitch." He's like, "You might be right. I can't fight you right now. All my gears."
That's how I do it, man. Like I'm just like I always tell people like enhance responsibly, man. And then like yeah, and then there's still people do roulette, and I'm just like, come on, dude. Like if you're gonna quit playing, you could have sold your account instead of doing roulette. Like come on, dude. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Sorry, I'm looking over the. So pros and cons of a actually pros and cons of Zerker. I guess that's a good topic. Silence.
Pros and cons of a berserker.
Yeah. Like
So
okay,
the pros,
so actually, you know what?
you. Oh, sorry.
That's so sorry. That's put angle it this way, I guess, for a new player to come in. What type of like mentality? Because you know how every player has different play style. What kind of what type of player you would suggest Berserker to them, and what type of player you would suggest yeah, Berserker maybe is not a choice if that makes sense to you.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
I'm having a hard time parsing what you said, dude. I'm
Okay,
not gonna lie.
sorry. Okay, so let's say someone is okay. I'm just starting BDO, and I'm wondering if Zerker is the right class for me.
Mhm.
Um, what what would you ask them to find out that if this person is suitable to play Zerker? Or yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. So I'd ask, do you like getting big kills, dude, all the time? Because that comes from Berserker at the very end. If you're someone who's focused on seeing the big damage, the big crits, Berserker gets there eventually. So you want to, if it's not something you can wait for, it's maybe not the class you want to play, right? Because there's a bit of a fucking climb before you get there.
Yeah. You're talking
Now,
about
if
like
you're,
240 AP, right?
yeah, I'm talking like once you get 210 AP, you should be able to kill just about anybody out of a full combo, right? You get the stand up and the grapple chain going. Anything you grab should die unless it's 360 DP or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it gets to be like you literally win versus everybody, dude, eventually, even if they're 400 something DP, that's when, that's the 230, 240 AP range with accuracy, right? That's where you get soft cap.
Okay.
I know it's every class gets disgusting at soft cap, right? But Berserker, it's when it starts to happen.
Okay. So like soft cap is almost like become like a standard for a Zerker if you want to be like
It's so you can copy what the other classes have been doing for 30 AP before you can do it.
hmm.
Basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if you're cool with somebody who a class that you affect, like you show up on the battlefield, everybody will look at you immediately. You have the biggest target on your face. If
Mm-hmm.
you're just a berserker walking around, people charge you on their horse. They talk shit to you. They tell you they fucked your mom. It's the worst. They hate you.
Yeah.
But
Everyone hates Zerkers. Yeah.
it's for a reason. You're an
Yeah.
absolute bastard in group settings and 1v1. You're overbalanced to an extreme degree against most classes in 1v1 scenarios. And in group fights, you're able to get away with all kinds of bullshit that other people cannot. And then the heals. You never have to buy pots when you're grinding, ever. It's the best. You just heal all the time.
Like
Feels so good. So good.
I actually like the super armor heal that you guys have that
Hmm.
you just hold down. Um, and I noticed what you were doing with me is if I waste a grab, like you will lob piercer or whatever way, or either you'll disengage and then you'll do the super armor heal, and then I will have absolutely nothing to get you out of it.
A lot of classes are in that same boat.
Yeah,
A lot of classes, you do that heal, all they can do is watch you, unless they're a grab class.
yeah, and like the grab is 10 seconds, so which is for me is not.
Yeah,
It's pretty. It's already short for a grab for most cases. Like Warriors grab is
I
also
call
10
it
second,
the
I
gear
think.
check heal, right? Because anybody who isn't geared enough to kill you through your heal
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to.
Yeah, but I realized like there's not many Zerker actually use that heal for some random fucking reason. Is there a particular reason why?
If you do that in a group setting, you just get killed.
Yeah.
Like
No. Yeah,
like it's
one v one in general. Yeah.
yeah, in 1v1, I don't know why they're not using it. They really should be.
Yeah, because everyone's go to is the axe. I don't know what's
The
The
called.
jumpy one.
block heal is really aggressive, is the thing. Now it
Okay.
does a lot. It actually does an alarming amount of damage. It's kind of nice in that if you do catch somebody with it,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna hit them really hard. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
Like
but
they get knocked down and then the down damage.
yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, because like whenever I see that, I just WW behind the Hellfire or whatever.
yeah, exactly. You got to be a good camera turner to use it. A lot of people aren't. I like the super armor one because it has a knockdown. It's the best bait. Oh, he's healing. I gotta get in there. And you just do the cancel animation, and it just knocks somebody out. It just knocks them on the ground.
I took that bait by the way. So I took that bait and then I was like, oh, okay, I can't. Okay, I can't do that next time. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
don't know why people don't use it. But yeah, if you're a new player and you're looking at Berserker, Berserker is a class that has more health than most other players, but to mitigate that fact, it doesn't have a lot of passive defensive abilities. Everything is active. You gotta be moving all the time. If you have really energetic hands, Berserker's the class for you.
hmm okay, all right.
Damage comes a little later. You're strong in group. You're very strong in 1v1. Your damage isn't amazing until the end, but it's a good ride. A little
Right.
long, but good ride.
Huh. Right on, right on. Panda, anything you want to add to that?
No, nothing really. I mean, for let's say in a 1v1 scenario, right? Let's say I'm against Bloody. I know he missed his grab. I know he already used his TP, right? Then I can just rocket jump twice back, and then use my which heal was it? Hold on, give me 1 second.
There's three heals, literally three heals.
The not the axe, not the ulti, the super armor one.
Oh yeah, that's a Beast Roar.
Yeah.
Beast
I
Roar.
believe so. I believe so. Yeah.
Just double check this Beast Roar.
That's literally what we're talking about. Who were you cybering before?
But yeah, other than that, like in a 1v1 scenario, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or this is what I do. I run to the closest wall, and then I do the axe, right? To get the frontal guard, and then
People get
it's so nice. It's so nice.
people get so mad at that thing. It's hilarious. Like, it's not. It's hilarious. I was gonna say it's not funny. Okay, it's pretty funny. It happens a lot that I'll jetpack. I'm like, oh, I landed next to a wall. Good time to heal. And it's fucking
Exactly,
people
it's
get
perfect.
pissed, dude.
I do that shit to
Come back. I
fucking.
can't believe you did that shit. I'm like, it just happened. It was natural.
Yeah, I do that shit. Was there a chilling wave? It's like a kind of shitty like block skill. Like it's very situational. But then there are times like when I'm fighting Kuno or Ninja or whatever, and then you just need an extra few seconds, and then to either get my heal back up or teleport back up or whatever. One of my cooldown, escape cooldown. I'm low. Back myself up, chilling wave. So I can see them like they're gonna. I remember like a fucking Kuno log jump behind me, and he literally couldn't see anything. I just kept AOE until my teleport comes back up and went away. And I remember he was cursing me out for it.
Like even if you're next to a cliff, right? If you're behind a cliff, and let's say a ninja or a kuno goes behind you, they just fall.
That's pretty great. Good to
That's
know.
it.
Yeah, like positioning is so important. Like I can't stress it enough. Actually, we spoke about it not just in like in multiple settings. Like I call it footwork. Um, but then it's positioning in nowhere. It's like you gotta be observed of what's around you, and like cliff is good, elevation is good. Like elevation man on a simple rock. Like I remember seeing a ranger grab me and then toss me down, and basically that the gap is not that big. The z axis is not that big, but it's big enough to complete dodge. You know that frontal block has frontal block skill that does a lot of damage from ranger that shoots a range like a
Oh yeah,
yeah, he literally completely missed while I'm on the ground. I'm just
yeah.
like lol, got up, teleport away. But yeah, I just cannot stress enough. look around you, this all world PvP is about is not just arena. Like line of sight is a thing. Like
Line of sight's important. I mean, I
yeah.
came from WoW, right? So line of sight, pillar humping, I'm all about that life. I love it.
Oh, nice!
There's a
You
lot of
play used
people,
to
this
play
is their
WoW.
first time, so they don't even doesn't click.
Yeah, like and it doesn't have to be physical, like bad line of sight too. Like a pillar or something. Like even like running between bushes. Like you mess with people's aim a lot. So like that's at least that's what I find anyway. And yeah, I seen people missing range CC because of it. Yeah, yeah,
It's valuable to play the game beyond just gear and class, dude. Exploit that
definitely,
terrain.
definitely. All right, so there's one more thing before let's talk. Let's chat about before we wrap up. What are the classes and skill that you watch out for in Nova as a Zerker?
In Node Wars,
What's a
anything
big red
magic,
flag? Anything magic? Okay.
it's the fucking worst, dude. Like which wizard, DK specifically, it hurts so bad just to be around DKs while they're doing their general evasive abilities because they just do so much damage.
Yeah.
It's crazy. In Node Wars, other berserkers mostly ignore each other. It's like I don't want to deal with that shit. You just fucking turn to the right and fucking just keep moving. But if it's the case that there's wizards around, you got to be very careful because they can just bunker down, and their abilities have a way of just stopping your grab before you get to them, and
Well.
it's really offensive. So you got to be quick on the snap against those wizards,
Mhm.
and then DKs in a node war. It's incredible. It's incredibly difficult to catch them if they're playing well.
Mhm. Uh, Ironically, as a wizard, Zerker is my biggest red flag when I see on the field. When I see a Zerker looking at me, I'm fucking getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah, well, naturally, like in a node war and 1v1, a lot of situations, right? The berserker's job is to handle the mages, witch wizards, right?
Yep.
But the more witch wizards there are, the danger it just multiplies exponentially. It's crazy. Like if one wizard, okay, two wizards, okay, all right, we can kind of maybe three wizards, you will never win. There's no way in that I could win against three rangers. I could win against maybe three, never against three wizards. There's just no fucking way.
Yeah.
It's just the more of them there are, and it is the case that there's a lot of them in node wars and a lot of sieges. So it's just crazy to deal with that many witch wizards at once because the damage is just continuous. They don't stop. They don't go down with some ranged ability. They don't go down with an in-your-face knockdown.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
stay up and they just auto turret you down. It's crazy.
All right. All right. So any magic class essentially. Panda. What about? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And what about skills in general? Is there a particular?
Skills?
Yeah. Is there any skills? Well, actually, you know what? That's pretty general. Like Sork ball, fucking
Oh, of course, yeah. Like
vacuums and stuff.
as a
That's
berserker, you don't sweat as much about sork balls and vacuums, right? You can stay up through most of those pretty easily.
mhm.
But
Nothing
skills you
jump
do
out,
watch
right?
out for. If you see like a lot of big purple in the area, right? A DK is casting their ranged burst. So you got to move out of the way. If you see a wizard ulti, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting. Even though you got 4,000 health, it's gonna be awful. So you got to get out of the way of that.
Yeah. Panda.
What's up?
Yeah. Anything that you look for in particular? In nowhere.
Um,
That's red
well, I
flag
don't
to
want
you.
to go through.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to go through any damage, right? Like that's the thing. Like you have to do your best to engage,
Mhm.
do as much as you can, and then get out safely. And then rinse, repeat, or at least that's my play style. As for skills, you know the ice witch thingy or the wizard thingy.
Okay. Yeah.
Any movement speed debuff can fuck us up. Everything, like it messes up the animations, attack speed, even though if it's movement speed, it's really weird, but it
Okay.
messes us up. That's
Wait.
just
Really?
it's dumb. Yeah. So if you land,
Getting slowed is ass. It's
it's
really bad.
horrible, dude.
I need to
It's like
cast
get
a blizzard more often then.
Since
so,
berserkers rely on that active playstyle to stay up,
Mhm.
getting slowed is terrible because our initiation animations are not great.
Oh. Thank you. I need to note that down. No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
continue,
if you
Panda.
slow
Yeah.
me in a duel, dude, I'm like, I guess I'm not fighting for the next 10 seconds.
it's like cannon out, like jump out,
Yeah, yeah.
jump back,
Literally
lava.
jet back out or hold you in the grapple the whole time and not even do any damage because I can't.
All right. So slow skill. Any slow skills in general? Panda.
Slows are dangerous. It's
Yeah.
not a good time. If you get slowed and you're engaged, it's probably the time to turn it around.
So you would say like let's say dismantle. We're talking about a warrior with like 420 or 4 something DP.
Hmm.
Like he's placed out very much come in and sit in there, and then people ignore him because people know he doesn't do any damage. But the
Right.
fact he what he does is he debuff people. Um, like he would go in and then Gravedigger, and then he will stand there and continue shot calling because people ignore him. So he's standing in the middle of the field and shot call. Um, which is it's effective to a degree. I mean, but then because people don't want to waste cooldown on them, but also at the same time he's a shot caller, so prefer them to go down. Um, but yeah, like what if like if would you say is there a warrior that actually find like okay that Zerker is very annoying and I need to peel for my caster and is ever run into a situation that a warrior just chase you around the field to try to shut you down?
Of course. Not just warriors. It's also most of the quote unquote weeb classes. Ninjas, mooses, bladers. It's pretty bad.
Even Musas?
Though,
Well, because
especially
they
Musa
all
for
they all
me.
want to dive you for what? Because like I told you before, we have a target on our head,
Yeah.
and they just so badly do they want to just jump on you and just show you what they can do. They're definitely the Hokage. Believe it. They're gonna be able to take you down with their Rasengan or some shit for sure. They're the one, and then they'll do 2 damage to you, but they'll fucking slow you, and it's the worst.
That's some
And that's
that's
all they can do. That's their kit.
That's
Like
all they can do.
that's you
It's
can't do
it's,
anything about it.
it's terrible. I'm like, I
You
really,
try to grab them. Good luck.
especially in RBF, it's always a dude with 1 point. It's like this is my guy, right? This is my meal ticket right here. I'm gonna take out this berserker.
oh fucking A. All right. So anything guys I want to add on that topic? If not, then let's do. Actually, any comments after all? Not after all. Like overall for Zerkers in small scale and medium scale.
You want to talk about matchups?
Yeah, go for it.
So like which classes do you have the most trouble on?
It's just the one, dude. DKs.
DKS, yeah.
DKs
Yeah.
are so great at making distance between themselves and their enemy target while doing a lot of damage. And Berserker versus DK, we can't shoot them half the time because it's just block or they iframe.
Yep.
Right? You can only catch them with a shot as they're running away, and that's rare. But the whole time we're trying to close, they have the same amount of cooldowns to create distance with, and it hurts terribly. Like we're just trying to get there, and they're already bursting.
Hmm.
Yeah, they just hurt. Like that's just it. Like especially once you get knocked down, you're just done. It's
I
like
don't
all
know if you
right,
noticed it when you fight DKs, dude. I feel like their iframe goes off way faster than anybody else, so they
yeah.
see things out
Oh
of a
yeah,
lot of
dude.
our grapples.
Dude, like they have at least 1 to 2 missing frames. Like refreezing them is painful, very very painful.
It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough. And then tamers basically negate the fact that you can grab combo. If they're good with their pet, they
Hmm.
will knock you out of a grab combo every time. You got to make
Oh
distance
yeah, I
on their
remember.
pet as you're trying to burst them. This is the
Yo,
worst.
yo, I watched Balance fighting Turbo the other day, and I'm just like, that's so gay, dude. Like Balance should be dead, but
It's like I caught balance fair and square. I
yeah,
caught him
and
with my
then
CC. I have him in my grapple for all. I can't kill him in one grapple like he can kill me. But for all rights, I should win in these next 2 grapples.
yeah,
But Highland comes in, dude, and that's gonna be a no.
yeah. Yeah, Bounce is hilarious. He's on stream. He's like, oh man, pet carry, pet carry, pet carry. Yes, it's
It's the
awesome.
true RNG, dude. It's so dumb. It's like mid grab chain, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're in grab, you can't get CC'd, but it's the damage in between that you can get CC'd. Now the pet, it literally CCs you while you're doing. Like as soon as you drop someone, it
Mhm.
will start CCing you, and that's how they get out. Like once you see a tamer, right? Let's say you're looking for a grand spot, jungle
Mhm.
rotation, right? You see a tamer, dip, channel swap. If you see a DK, you might have a chance, but if he's wearing a camo or a ghillie and then it's nighttime, just swap or even close the
It's
game.
just it's the worst. Like I practice against DKs a lot, dude, just so I don't get destroyed, right? Like I literally every day I'll fight 2, 3 DKs, and I hate every second of it, but I gotta do it because if I gotta have every possible edge. And even then, if it's a gear DK, like them just floating around. does about half my health and damage, dude. Like it's the worst. But if I get a slow, it's usually my game to win. Ever since they nerfed DK, I get my slows off way more often. And if I get my slow on them, they're gonna do that shit where they float in the air, and
Yeah.
right there, you just lava pierce in, and
Oh.
it's way faster than their slowed animation. So you just grab them out of the air.
Yeah, I
So
was
do
about
you
to
play
ask
off
her.
of your devastation? Oh, I'm sorry to cut you.
100%. This is really the only way I can, unless they're just a bad DK. I'm not really gonna be able to get a win out of them any other way than slowing them and then catching them in some type of air attack.
Huh. Yeah, I was about to ask you about ever since the DK changes, like would you like how do you find you find it's easier to get devastation on them, and after that
Oh,
it
absolutely.
yeah, is it a lot
Yeah,
better
after that,
compared to before?
a lot better. Like
Yeah.
before, it was just they wouldn't get ticked by a single hit of devastation. Devastation hits a lot of times, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wide net you're casting there.
Yeah, that's the one that you stand still and pounding on the floor, right?
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, like before DK just fucking like a fly around you. Like it was oh my god. Like any CC. I don't know, it's very at least for me it's very telegraphed. Like my skill are very telegraphed. So like getting them is tough. Like it has to be a grapple for the most part. But then my grapple is a lot slower compared to you guys, I feel like. But yeah, like the
No,
after
we just have four.
no slower. I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean you have four?
Yeah, so if one misses, we got three others. You know what I mean?
Fuck you. I hate you. But no, it's alright. It's alright. Alright. So matchup. So DK Tamer.
For me, if you fight a really good Musamewa that knows how to space himself,
It's rough.
it's oh my god, you just can't catch him, right? Because
Mhm.
once let's say you grab him, right? The next grab, that's iframe right there. You're done. That's desync. Just escape, escape, channel swap. Same thing for the Meiwa. They have a block. Or even Musa, they can just press S, they get a block. It's broken. Give me that. And then again, they can burst you down if they
Mhm.
are, especially the Meiwas.
Yep.
The Musas, they can KD you with the below the belt. Um, and then again, once you start the devastation, if it lands, there's a high chance of you winning. If it doesn't, delay. That's literally the only way I can fight Musa Meiwas.
A big thing I do, dude, is I fake myself getting CC'd. I do like I walk backwards or I shake off into like a quick little back step. I try to make myself look like I did get CC'd. Whenever they do their arrow, I
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to make it
yeah.
look like they got it. You did it, dude. Come in, and then I'll devastation.
Oh
A lot of them will just
shit.
play off of it immediately, thinking, "Oh, he moved a little. I got him with my CC," and then they'll come in off of it.
It's
I'll try that.
yeah. I never thought
And you
about
gotta
it.
get the devastation. After you get the devastation, you can run down a blader flat out. A Meiwa. Oh wait, I think it's a Meiwa. Never mind. You can run down a Meiwa flat out. A blader you can't quite run down with the devastation slip on there.
But you can lava chase them for sure, though.
Yeah, you can chase him, right? But I mean, a Meiwa you can catch out of Lava Piercer with a grapple. Lava Piercer grapple. But then the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bladers, their dash animation is a lot cleaner, I want to say. So
Mm-hmm.
like they don't stop moving. Like they don't have that little pause.
Interesting.
Like
Like
lava E grab. Yeah.
I actually never thought about like fake CC. I literally have never thought about it. Like I seen like I actually fought a ranger like just before the podcast. I was confused. I was like, he looks like he CC'd, and then I threw my a naked range skill out to continue the CC or chain it, and then like it got frontal, and then I got stiff because I was naked as fuck. And I don't know if he's doing it intentionally or whatever, but there was a few times like, oh fuck, oh never mind, he wasn't bound. That was my bad. Yeah, I actually I need to work on that more then. Thanks for a
I
tip.
think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's more about game knowledge, though, knowing the animations or other classes' animations, and for you to react to it quickly.
yeah. Yeah, like I think I'm pretty decent in that, but like fake, like that's my thing about Musa and Meiwa. Like when I'm fighting them, like it's just like I have to wait for them to come in. Like I have literally the second shortest leg in game. Like there's absolutely no point of me moving, blowing my one evasion, not evasion, sorry, iframe skill like teleport as a movement to try to catch up to them. Because after that, if shit goes wrong, I'm fucked. Like yeah, I can sage PA and stuff, but I mean it just shouldn't be blowing that cooldown that easily. And it's the same reason why I keep telling like people that I'm close to that play Witch and Wizard, just like teleport, man. Don't use it offensively. Like that's retarded, dude.
Mm.
Like you're asking to get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on class matchup, Hannah, that you need to ask Turbo for?
uh, what are your thoughts about ninjas?
All right. So any class that is quote unquote excellent as or well known as a good 1v1 class, you with their good 1v1 class, you included, they'll do well against you. So Ninja, Kuno to a lesser extent,
Hmm.
but Ninja Kuno, they're it's a I want to say it's an even fight because you can both kill each other,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And it's just gonna come down to how well you played. Same thing with
Interesting.
Sork.
Okay.
I say that a lot. Sork and Berserkers are basically the same class. They follow the same rule set when fighting each other, except for Berserkers have grapples and heals, right, which gives them the edge. But Sork can kill you in one combo if they're good enough, which a lot of them are.
Um, what about Striker? Striker is currently, correct me if I'm wrong, but my personal feeling is I feel like Striker is the strongest 1v1 class at the moment. But,
It's
it's
a good
just my
joke.
personal opinion. Just my personal opinion. What do you guys think?
So I actually have a Striker as well, right? And I played a bit. And while Striker is pretty strong, it is pretty strong in 1v1. It does definitely come up and do well against a lot of those classes that are quote unquote the 1v1 meta.
Mm-hmm.
Berserker does extremely well against Strikers in turn. It's
Oh,
not the case that we have a lot of trouble with them, in
Hmm.
my opinion, at
really?
equal or like levels of gear.
Huh. Interesting.
Like, yeah, I also made a striker. I personally think that a Zerker's kit, like, can counter a striker's kit if you know how to play it correctly.
Hmm.
Like, let's say, like doing the Titan blow into their engage, that frontal guard you won't get knocked down. You're pretty much baiting them in to a grab chain or to anything else.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like strikers, they're good, right? They can burst you down. They can do all of that. Do they have sustain as a Zerker? No, they don't. Do they
Hmm.
have more burst than a Zerker? Maybe, depending on the gear. But I still think that striker versus Zerker fight, I still think Zerker's gonna win for sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
I actually very like I like this concept a lot. The whole rockman paper scissors stuff. Um,
Yeah,
like when it comes to builds, but like striker like it has absolute like their magic DP absolutely shit on all the magic users.
yeah.
Like
It's
it's tough. It's very
it's
tough.
crazy. It's like there's no paper. It's just rock, dude.
Yeah, right. And
You can't do anything.
yeah, like I remember like I put on my AP set, and my AP is like hovering around 230 to 240 AP set. Okay, full AP.
Mm.
I cannot one combo a dude. Like
I was
and
fighting fucking Feb on my striker, dude. My striker is level 59. It
yeah.
has just tri weapons. It's not very good,
Hmm.
but February has 260 AP. Didn't matter. Couldn't win. Flat out, dude. The striker was just so tanky. Like it didn't matter how much AP he had.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, but then like hearing that Meiwa has literally like walk in the park dealing with the striker, I'm just like, you know what? I can respect that kind of setup. Rock paper scissors. Like, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with not be able to kill a striker while another class I'd be able to literally just, I'm gonna sneeze on you and you're dead. Type of deal.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'm right there with it. I mean, the reason I rolled the striker and the reason I still keep it around is because it's specifically because it deletes DKs, dude. On my Zerker, I get bullied by DK, hop on my striker. I'm like, what now, dude? What now?
So do you like fight rotations like oh my god it's a DK? You know what? Hang on, let me bring my striker out real quick.
Yeah, it's 100% just for memeing in arenas, dude. Literally, like, it's just as expensive. All
Yeah. All right. All right. So I guess that will be all, and we're actually just over 1 hour now. I think.
went by in a flash, dude.
I know, right? It's crazy. I was just like, oh man, wish I still want I'm sure Panda still wants you to ask more questions and I want to talk
I
more
do.
about like 1v1 mechanic with you too as well because I want to learn like Zerker about and just learn about how to counter it properly.
Look, I know you want to reroll to a Zerker. Just
No.
say it, dude. It's fine.
The video guides are out, dude. You can fucking pick it up overnight. It's no problem.
It's easy. It's easy.
That's
We
true.
got
I'm
motivated.
actually rolling your clips, like put all your clips on stream as I'm recording. So that's the
Oh,
visual
no
that I'm
kidding.
running. Yeah. All right. So you guys, if you guys enjoy this podcast, like again, like it's nowhere small scale, large scale, nowhere specific podcast. Lately, we're doing class specific stuff. This week is Zerker, as you can tell, and we had TurboCleave from Snake, and he does have a YouTube channel, and there is Zerker Guy, two Zerker Guy. Volume 2 just came out today. Is it? Wait, it was last night.
Yeah, earlier
Yep.
today.
It was today. Yeah, and check his YouTube out. I'm gonna your YouTube is Maluko. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. So check out Maluko, MALUKO on YouTube. That Turbo Cleave's channel if you want to learn some Zerker stuff. And my name's Bloody Karma. We do have a YouTube. Endgame do have a YouTube channel. Bloody Karma, SRS Karma on YouTube. And all right, so my name's Bloody Karma. I'm Wizard.
It's your boy Illis Panda. Back at it again. 5'8". Likes cuddles and long walks to the beach. My Instagram's Illis Panda. Just saying.
Is it really?
Team Turbo Legend, Turbo Cleave here, boys and girls. I'll catch you next time.
All right, man. Next week, same time, 11:30 EST. See you guys then. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in.